The year is 2022. Gas prices are approaching $6. Inflation is over 8%. But one thing remains steady. We are K-swapping everything. Not only are K-Series engines environmentally friendly, similar to, say, a Tesla, but they are proven to make massive amounts of horsepower when built properly. Couple this with the fact that they're readily available and dirt cheap. They were cheap. They used to be cheap. What's going on, guys? If you found your way to this video, chances are that at some point in your life, like me, you've built a K-Series car, owned a K-Series car, or at the very least, thought about it. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember the days when it was no issue whatsoever to find an RSX Type S K20 with a 6-speed for about $2,000. When I started hunting for a K-swap for a project I'm working on, I was shocked to see them selling for as much as $5,000. One of the most attractive things about the K-swap to me is the fact that it's always been relatively budget friendly. So obviously $5,000 wasn't going to cut it. I decided I would rather pay roughly nothing.
For free.
That's right, I decided to get this swap for free, and I'm going to show you how with a little time and effort, you can do the same exact thing. But first, we need to go take this thing for a test drive. Of course, it wouldn't be a test drive without our resident Honda boy, Fernando, so we're going to go grab him. Hey, Fernando.
Yes, sir.
We have a special Honda project I need your help with in the parking lot.
Okay.
I mean, your shop Honda boy,
Is it a nice
right?
car or not?
I'll let you guys answer them. Is it a nice car? I'm not really sure how to answer that. I mean, she's right there. No, not that one. That one.
Okay.
Now, you already know the project we have going on. We're not telling anybody else yet, but that's what this is for. And the plan is, by the time we sell everything off this, that's going to be free.
Honda power!
I was going to come out and ask if you were ready to go for a ride, but obviously you are.
I'm more than ready, you know.
All right, let's go. Now, if you couldn't tell by the stickers on the car, we obviously bought this car from Copart. They're one of the two major salvage auctions, them and IAA. If you don't have an account on those sites and don't have a licensed automotive business, it's going to be a little tougher, but not impossible. If you just Google salvage auction broker, you'll find a ton of options. They'll let you buy the car in their name, basically, for a small fee. I shouldn't say a small fee. It's sometimes a rather large fee. But you get the point. If you don't have a business, it's a good way to do it. All right, let's head on back. Let's take the hood off and retry this, all right? So quick important note, if you choose to buy a car from Copart and you take it for a test drive, which you absolutely should, make sure you remove that damaged hood and don't just assume you're gonna keep it slow enough to not have it come up on the windshield for you. All right, so attempt number 2 here. Let's see if we can make it more than 10 feet down the road. There are other means of buying cheap K-Series. Namely, you can find some dude on Marketplace that'll sell it to you out of his backyard for 1,800 bucks. But when you buy a whole car, not only do you have the option to get it even cheaper than that, you can diagnose it, you can test drive it. If there's an issue with that drivetrain, you can fix it while it's in the car. That way, before you pull it out, you can make sure everything's kosher and make sure you have a A1 perfect drivetrain to put into your project. Clutch feels great, engine sounds good. We're gonna see how it pulls. What do you say?
Okay. Can scare you, you know.
Pull a U.
Too many horsepowers on. Do you actually know how to handle that kind of power? You know?
I haven't been able to handle this type of power before, but we're gonna try. We're gonna see what happens. All right, you ready? VTEC, baby.
Oh, okay. But I ain't gonna lie, it sounds pretty good.
It does sound good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It roasted second.
Yeah?
It roasted second.
Yeah?
You hit second and it was smacking red line still. And it was tires, not clutch.
Now I understand why the people get crazy with KC.
Yeah, it feels great, man. And again, now because we bought a whole car, you know this drivetrain's good. Before we put this into anything, it is solid. It runs its ass off, actually. Now, it does seem we just found a small crack in the radiator because about halfway through second gear, it decided to cover the windshield in a little coolant. It was borderline damaged. I wasn't quite sure if it was gonna blow. It did. I'm not sure what caused that. Maybe it was already half broken. Maybe it was Fernando forgetting to lash down the hood. I'm not sure. But now that we're all sprayed off, we've road tested this thing. We made sure we had a nice, good driving drivetrain. You ready to pull in and get to work? Yeah. All right, guys, we got it on the lift here. First things first, we're compression testing it, make sure we have a nice, healthy engine. Then we're taking on a little bit of a challenge. Got to thinking last night, these cars are so easy to work on. So I started thinking, just how easy are they? Could we have this engine out in less than 30 minutes? Probably. Could we have it out in less than 20 minutes? I don't know. So I decided to issue a challenge. Let's see if we can get this engine out in under 10 minutes.
K-Series to spare. Be careful, Boosted Boys.
So if we do this, we're going to need Boosted Boys to match us and see if they can do it as well, since they're the K-Series gods.
I don't know. I don't think that
The MR2 is
I don't think they could like take something like this apart that quickly.
Wow. Whoa, that's a challenge. That's a challenge. That's a challenge.
That's not me like being a jerk to them. Like I'm sure they know their cars like through and through. But at the same time, like this is just a little bit different. Like complete. You know, they have like race cars and stuff like that.
All right, you heard the man. That was him, not me. Tag him in the comments. Enough talking. Let's go ahead and compression test this thing. What do you say? We keep running into scenarios in these videos, like the last one when he was trying to break into the Corvette. There are definitely going to be some thieves watching this. They're like, I could have done it quicker.
I've done it in 5 minutes by myself.
All right, 185.
Well, you're fired.
For some reason, that didn't get any of us. Should have, but it didn't. I'll tell you one thing, though. Nothing's going to shock me or nothing's going to scare me like that windshield did yesterday. You know what I mean? I watched that video back. I'm terrified. Like, it was, I was not expecting it. It felt like it was coming right for my face. All right, hit it. All right. 180. All right, 185. All right, 180. Flawless. Can't beat it. Perfect compression test. Obviously, the car has high mileage, which, what's the mileage on this?
181.
Yeah, 181. If I didn't already mention that, it's a high mileage engine, but it's a good engine. That's really what matters.
So what Tyler recommended that we do, now that it's been compression tested,
Okay.
we'll put it back together.
Yeah.
Actually start it and show, hey, it runs.
Yes.
And then we'll get going on it.
Perfect. So they know we're not cheating.
Yes, exactly.
Judging by the fact that it's taken me like a minute to do this and like him like a minute to have 3 spark plugs in, like I don't know if this bodes well for what we're about to do.
We need to get all the impact guns in the shop over here.
Yeah. Important note here, not a professional tech. Definitely not a professional tech over there.
What are you talking about? There's 2 or 3 videos recently to prove I'm at least a semi-professional tech.
Semi-amateur. Well, yeah, we're both semi-amateur techs. You've seen me drop a Porsche engine, but I obviously can't put it back together. My ZR1's still in the parking lot. His RX-7, I'm not even going to get into it. It's sitting up there. It doesn't look like a car. We have not taken apart an RSX in 3 years?
At least 2.
Okay, yeah, a long time. So I don't remember anything about the suspension of this car, anything about the way the subframe comes down. So not only are we trying to do this very quickly, we are doing it essentially blind. As soon as it shuts off, clock starts. That's when it starts. Tyler, you got your phone for the stopwatch?
There's going to be so much just like screaming and yelling.
I felt like we were going to come up with some like master plan, like, oh yeah, we're going to do this, but I'm still not that clear on what's going to happen here.
It's going to be shit.
Yeah, we're just going to run around and do this. As soon as you're done the ECU, just worry about that shit, and then when you come out here, one of us will scream some task at you. All right, crank it up.
Go ahead, take the jump box off. Yeah, go ahead, put your foot on the clutch. Like put it in gear, like let the clutch out. So you can see the wheels spinning. Let it out slowly. Alright, wheels still spinning. Alright, you guys ready?
Is your phone unlocked?
Alright, second he shuts it off, hit the button. Go ahead, Steven.
Let's roll. There's a fuel return on.
Character's laying on the floor to get the subframe bolts. I forgot that side's attached to the chassis.
Holy shit, it's 4.5 minutes already.
Oh, there you go.
Phillips, come on. Thanks, behind you.
You got that on camera, right? You saw those hands?
Yes. I need somebody to put a second hand on this. Down pressure as hard as you can. Their impact driver is gone. There we go. All right, good.
I think that's suspension-wise.
Oh, we didn't drain the oil. 8 minutes. Holy shit. Up.
Put the drain plug back in it.
Fumble.
We're at 12 minutes.
Oh, no! All right, let's keep it going. We didn't meet 10. We're going to keep doing it. Do you need it up still?
Nope. I'm going down with it. Okay. I think you literally just need to hit subframe bolts.
All right, tap it up.
Oh, there we go. I think you're good.
Keep eyes.
Go. Up.
That's it. That's time. 13 minutes. I'm actually sweating.
Yeah, me too, man.
That was like an actual workout. We didn't check how stable this thing is without a motor in the front of it.
It doesn't have a rear difference. It's fine.
I mean, I think it probably
She ain't going nowhere.
I gotta figure out how to get my impact out. I mean, it should be fine, but yeah, I gotta figure out how to get it. It got wedged up between the floor.
Yeah.
You guys made 13 minutes.
Hey Fernando, look, the only person in the shop that's not sweating.
Sweet. Whatever that's.
Oh, yeah. Put it in the comments. You guys know we do a lot of 5th gen Camaros, LS3, L99. What's the time frame on one of those? You give us the challenge, we'll do it.
13 minutes.
I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble being upset about that.
Fernando.
13 is pretty impressive. Here's the real question.
We might have to buy another one just to see if we can do it in 10 minutes now.
Can we do 10 minutes next time?
I don't remember anything, so.
Yeah, I kind of don't remember anything from that either. I'm sure we definitely caused a little collateral damage, but when the car is this jacked up in the front anyway, what's it matter?
That's a good point, actually. If you had like a full front end car,
that'd be tough because we couldn't be running through it with sawzalls like that.
Yeah.
We're gonna clean this situation up. We're gonna get everything back together, get this engine off the subframe, do all that good stuff. Let us know in the comments. You think this was fast, impressive, or slow, and could you and your boys do it faster? All right, we got our goods. That's what we wanted. However, we paid $2,700 for that car. That means we need to find $2,700 of parts to sell off it, or that's not free. It's time to start breaking this thing down, and honestly, it's looking kind of thin. I have no doubt we can pull $2,700 in parts out of this car. However, that's where the expenses come in. We could pull $3,500 in retail value out of this car. However, when you factor in shipping, selling fees, labor, all that good stuff, we might not end up getting this thing for free after all. In that case, I guess this video is kind of a bust, but there's only one way to find out. Let's get to it. Guys, we are done tearing apart the RSX, and you may be asking yourself, why is there so much left on it? And that is a fantastic question, because honestly, there is some decent money left on this car. However, we aim to do this in the most realistic fashion possible. We certainly could have took things like doors, like the hatch. However, eBay sold listings as well as our personal sales history suggests that stuff is going to sit forever. And unfortunately, while somebody may have came and paid $100 for that door, say a year and a half from now, it's simply not worth the space in our warehouse. Now, the good news here is if you're doing this at home and you have somewhere to store, say a door, a hatch, something like that, and it doesn't bother you if it happens to sit for a year or two, then it's very possible that you can make a little more money on something like this than we can. It's a similar story with a lot of these big plastic panels here. While they are black, while they are in nice shape, unfortunately, they cost so much to ship and they take up so much storage space that they're not worth keeping. All right, car is gone. And before we move on to this stuff, we can tally tally up our first 2 items. Scrap value on that car, and we're gonna estimate this one $200. It may end up being a little more, but that's what we're gonna roll with. Second thing, the cat. We threw it in our scrap bin down there. We don't sell any of them. It's just easier, more cost effective to just scrap them. Fortunately, cat prices are super high right now. Once again, we won't find out what we're getting paid for that for about a week, so we are gonna have to estimate that one as well. But similar cars have pulled roughly 300 bucks, so we're gonna call it 300 bucks. So off the jump, before we actually sell anything, we're knocking $500 off the total. Let's get into it, Fernando. What do we have?
Bunch of parts. It's a lot more than I actually expect.
It is. It does look like a lot more than I was thinking when it's all laid out here. It's not too bad. So I guess we'll start with the seats here. They are pretty rough, but fortunately, Civic guys love these things. Even if they're rough, they can recover them, get new covers for them, whatever they want to do. So over here, and one of the surprise items off the RSX are the hubs. Now, unfortunately, the fronts were kind of rough. The bearings were shot. The ABS sensors had got cut when we were removing that engine as fast as possible, but the rears were actually good. We'll see what we list them for, but I think they're going to be about $150 per side. Shifter cables, another relatively big money item when you're talking Honda stuff. Along those same lines, axles and intermediate shaft. Great money, especially if you don't need them for your swap. So what do we have up here on the desk?
So a couple interior parts and taillights. What is this? Can you explain this?
This?
Yeah.
So yes, I can explain that. Unfortunately, these bolts get rusty, like rusty. So my options were either to strip this completely, break it, or simply sell it with the bracket. So in that case, we sold it with the bracket.
Okay.
This one over here, it came off clean, so we pulled that bracket off. And up here, some oddball interior parts, really nothing special. If I recall, black seat belts pull a little bit of money. If you guys aren't super familiar with RSXs, some of them have tan interiors, some of them have gray interiors, and that actually makes black interior stuff slightly desirable. Anybody that wants to convert their car to black from one of those colors needs pretty much all of this stuff. The same deal with the center console. A lot of these are tan, a lot of them are broken. A lot of times this thing right here will break. Unfortunately, this one is actually correct. It works as it should. If I can work it, yeah, there we go. So for as bad as that car was, we actually got some good parts out of it, in my opinion. We'll see what it does once we actually list everything, but I think we're gonna be okay. What do you think?
You are the mad guy, so you don't know who actually...
Not gonna lie, it's a little sketchy. We're gonna be close. I don't know how this is gonna turn out, but again, only one way to find out. So he's gonna photo all this stuff, I'm gonna list it, and I'll be right back with you to let you guys know how we finished. All right, guys, we are back. We're done listing all the RSX parts online, and I am happy to report we got this K-Series for exactly $0.00. Let's hop inside the computer, and I'll show you guys exactly how we did it. So some of the parts that made this possible. Obviously, we have the expensive items like the seats, like the bumper. But with those, they're also going to cost a lot of money to ship, so they're not quite as valuable as they seem. One of the big things on this car, black interior panels. Between the door panels and the console, it's almost $450. Yes, it costs a little bit to ship, nowhere near what the seats or bumper cost to ship, so we still have a good bit of money coming in those. The axles, the intermediate shaft. If you don't need those for your swap, which at this point, I don't believe I do, those are worth a lot of money simply because there are people out there who need them for their swaps. Now, with as much money as we pulled out of this car, we could have kept that stuff anyway, and it wouldn't have made a difference. However, since I don't believe I need it, I am going to go ahead and sell it and just rack up a little bit more money on this. We had a nice little bonus on this short ram intake by Engine. Everybody loves them. It's not going to work for swap purposes. We can make something universal when the time comes, so we're not worried about that. We're letting that go. That's $150, and it is surely more expensive than a stock airbox. But what really made this car is the fact that we had quite a few items in this $150 to $100 range, even down to the 70s, that really kind of bulked these numbers up. You can't ID any one part, but when you start adding up taillights, pedals, seat belts, the steering wheel, the subwoofer that was in the trunk, the cluster, all that stuff, it really adds up. And honestly, that stuff is what made this whole deal work. Now, just as important is when we get all the way down here to the bottom of this list and you start seeing the really cheap stuff. You might be thinking to yourself, why are you saving $25 parts? But honestly, this stuff really adds up. And if you don't have the attention to detail to be able to save little stuff like this, a project like this simply isn't going to work. All in, we had $5,400 in retail parts value. Now, the key word there is retail. So, $5,400 seems like a lot, right? Well, if you watch my Salvage Story series, you know we still have to factor in a ton of expenses. And while we're not gonna go way down that rabbit hole in this video, you can factor in at least $1,000 for shipping. We'll have about $500 in selling fees. Labor, $500, though, if you're doing this at home, I'm gonna assume you're not paying somebody to take this apart for you. All that considered, we still cleared the $2,200 that we needed to make up on this car by over $1,000. So I guess that's mission accomplished. Question is, What do we do with it now?
Got a perfect project for it.
Perfect perfect project. Perfect project.
It's right there in the parking lot, so you don't have to worry about it. Probably you have to pay like $100 for it.
What? There's no car in this parking lot that's $100.
I guarantee you that it's one over there.
What is it?
It's a Saturn. It's a 6 Saturn.
Oh, geez. Okay, so there is a $100 car in the parking lot. I just didn't realize what he was talking about. It's visible in the video right now. There's one car out there that's $100. You guys pick it out. Tell me what it is. But we can sit here and debate this all day. I guess that is pretty much a wrap for this video. So let me know what you guys will put this in. And more importantly, if one of you guys do this at home and also end up with a free K-swap, definitely let me know, because I would love to see this become a trend. It's honestly pretty easy. Anybody can do it at home. While we do have the means to sell and ship a lot of these bigger parts, realistically, there's nothing special about what we did. And if anything, it cost us more to do it here in this big shop than it'll cost you in your backyard. So as per usual, if you liked it, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Say bye, Fernando.
Adios.
That's right. I decided I wanted this swap for free $99, $0 for free. Attractive about the K series to me, you fucking fly, get the fuck out of here. God, fucking bugs, man.
What? Can I offer you $1,000? Credit card on hand. You know,
Here
everybody
we
say
go.
cash.
Here we go.
I gotta say credit card on hand.
So
you know?
here we have lowballer #1 and King Bluff over there. Sweet. Apparently there's some closeted Honda boys here, because he's always talking bad about him, but apparently we've all had him at some point.
Yeah, by the way, when you're in there, this man stalled it.
Make sure you... Shut up!
What was that?
Well, I don't know if I want Eric. Eric doesn't usually work on cars. Look at him. Literally look at him right now. If we're... I want to be the film guy. I don't... Can I pull seniority here or something like that? Like, I don't want to be working on this.
He's old man. You seen your videos, Dalt?
That's twice in 2 days?
I don't want to say nothing, but the video
Oh, so you think the same thing?
No.
All right, so
we wasn't their vital team, you know.
Okay.
I don't want to flex that thing, but
no,
we're
just
working together on that video.
we're just trying.
Viral team. Douchebags.
You can't put it in the video, but I do have the mission that I cut most pizza.
I want to get out of here. Let's do this. All right, back into f***ing RSX mode. I'm a piece of shit Honda mechanic. I like Hondas. Let's see.